Hey everyone, Mac is back, and today I want to talk about. I generally talk about more of the mid spenders strategy, just because I think the majority of people that play this game are mid spenders. I think there are a lot of um, there's a very small percentage that are actual whales that have the absolute max accounts or near max accounts. I don't play in that type of league, or don't plan to, don't want to. I like playing in kind of a mid spending way, and always trying to push my hardest to find out what kind of little things that I can do, even as a mid spender, to try to compete with those massive accounts. Today I want to talk about the free to play accounts, because you can still play this game with not spending any money and have a ton of fun and enjoy it. So I just want to go through some tips, and hopefully these tips you can be able to use for your free to play account. I'm just to preface this, I want to say that this is more of a mid game free to play. So basically you've already unlocked the tier 4, and you build up a pretty decent sized army. I want to say you're at least slightly or decently skilled in either fighting and specific things, depending on what your account may have. But this is like I said, more for those free to play players that maybe you forgot something, or maybe you're not used to, maybe you didn't, maybe just give you a little tip here or there that might help you, and maybe at least one of these, maybe a dozen or so tips that I have that will help you in the future. So let's get into it. So one of the very first things that I think that's important for a free to play account is that you join an alliance that is advanced to the point where you're getting high level these alliance gifts, because you need to be getting in here as a free to play. This is where you're going to get your advantage of the diamonds that you're going to get, the speed ups that you're going to get, the resources, all that kind of stuff in here. So you need to be, like our alliance is at level 13. That's the type of box that you need to be in. You need to be like a very large alliance, because this is vitally important to you. Saving up those diamonds and saving up those resources that you need to to use for researches and for building upgrades. And speaking of research, that is going to be the lifeblood of your free to play account. There's going to be many other ways to upgrade your account to get better stats, but the number one in this game, even after tier 4, is to do your research. So you've excuse me, finished tier 4. Your expedition pacification should be maxed out. This is my old account. It's a farming account, so don't mind that I don't have this, but it's even worth getting. This one you may not want to, the level 5 rebel leaders, because they're expensive in a free to play account to kill. So and having the commanders to do it, it would take you a lot longer, and it probably isn't worth it. You probably want to stick to the level 3s and level 4s, but definitely the expedition pacification after tier 4, you should be able to max that out up until that last portion. Advanced military is another good one to get, because once you get in there, you can reduce your the cost of those tier 4s. You can get these equipment upgrades, the badging, all that kind of stuff. You get a new procedure, so you could get in here and get another deployment, which is really, really nice as well. And actually you get 2 deployments, so those deployments can come in handy. Having 5 of them is good, but having in the advanced military you get 2 more, so there you can go for your 6 and your 7, and you can get 8 total. But I would say finish this out, get the 6 and the 7, and you'll be in really, really good shape here for at least if you need to be doing some extra farming or something like that. Then you go to have like formations and commandership are also some good ones. I would look into obviously the refinement is very high on the list. You want to make sure you get that completed, get your badge master in there, and then get the new preset badges as well. You want to max this one out too. So I guess my recommendation would be to finish out the pacification, the expedition pacification. That's probably the very first one that you want to do. I would say just kind of keep up with your refinement. So at the very beginning, just because the badge master is expensive, like I'm almost there I am on this account, but I'm never going to do it. So it's 308 days, and that's with like 360% research. So you're looking at a very, very long time. You'll take 30% off of that just because of the your helps, and you can get some other another 15% and different buffs for it. But you probably want to just kind of keep up with the refinement, so you're able to in your refinement be able to keep upgrading a little bit as you go. So just kind of come back here, do an extra refinement, and then go back into the advanced military and start working on this tree and try to finish it. This is going to take a long time, even in the mid game. And then finishing your refinement is probably the next one. And then you have these the formations and the commandership. You've probably done some of those already, but those would be the next one you kind of want to dabble in. And speaking of refinement, this is where you're going to want to be very specific as well. So the army size is going to be probably the number one that you're going to you want to check in the refinement. But also total attack is clearly up there as well, because you're going to want to be powerful, because you're going to be probably a PvP player of some sort. This whole guide is about for PvP. It's not someone who's you're going to be a rally filler as well. So your PvP rally filler kind of account that you're going to have. So those are the two that you're going to want to look into. The other one is enemy army attack reduction. So if you keep re-rolling and you're not getting total attack, but you get army attack reduction, then keep that as well, and then to move on to your next ones until you can keep re-rolling and get the total attack to replace that enemy army attack reduction. As for the last two slots, basically your army size is the one, and then either total attack or enemy army attack reduction as your second one, and then you're trying to get the total attack if you can. If you can't, you get this one, keep that, and then move on to the next one, and then eventually come back around and do the total attack. But for the last two, you want to do just two troop attacks. So depending on what your formation is, if say you're infantry cav, then you want your infantry attack and your cav attack. Don't worry about health. Don't worry about defense. You're going to get those stats in other places. But as for this, specific one for specific guide, I believe that's what you want to get. You don't need the rally size expansion like I have here, because you're not going to be a rally leader as a free-to-play account, most likely. So this might sound obvious, but you need to get as many commanders as you possibly can. The way you upgrade them or awaken them is going to be based upon your specific formation that you're using. I'm going to stick with the infantry cav formation. So if you're infantry cav, then clearly you're going to want Chris awakened and you're going to want Rob awakened, because you're going to need those two. Specifically Chris, because for that front line you're going to need his health and his his passive stats as well, which is health and defense and attack and all that. Rob will be nice because he actually does have attack within his awakening. So if you check that out, you can go to his hidden abilities, and he actually does have some cav attack in there as well. But he also throws in the defense and health. So if you do have a cav front line, which rarely people do, is because the spearmen actually take care of them pretty well. But so he's still worth upgrading for that specific reason. So make sure you get him upgraded. Haley, like I said, if you're infantry cav, Haley and Chris are probably a good two priorities as well. Rob is probably the third on that list if I had to rank them for the awakening, and then the rest of them, you're not gonna upgrade Theon, but just some of those commanders that you need to get. Like, so Mango was one that you had to get in events, so upgrade him as much as you can. Witten, it was the same thing, or he was in the recruitment pass, so you want to try to get him upgraded as much as you can. Sabrina was in Lord of Lords, that's where you want to get her. Theon, they let you do that for free, so make sure you unlock him. Simon is in the events, that's how you unlock him. And then Annie was in another event as well. It's the same with Ray. So these gray ones basically were all in events, so it's going to be difficult to get them any higher than they already are, other than Simon, which you can just buy medals for him once you do in some of the events that you play in, like the Army of the Dead and such. You just use those from there. So Egbert, I got him, and I believe in the recruitment pass as well. Barrett was also one that was not in the, I think he was in the recruitment pass. He was in an event that we had. So like Mango and Barrett were kind of like that. So Uma was a recruitment pass, I believe. So switching back and forth. Make sure you get Tyrion. Don't forget about Tyrion, because Tyrion's actually really, really good. He has that attack, total attack and total defense, which will actually, once you get him maxed out, it'll be 15. So it'll be 15 on each one of these. So he's very, very good, especially for a free-to-play account. You'll probably want him in your formation, your two-troop formation, just for that. And then one of the other things while we're talking about commanders is that you want to make sure you get all these equipments here upgraded, because if you're going to be fighting in the training grounds, you want to have everything maxed out so that when you are fighting in there, you doing the max amount of damage, skills, popping and everything that you have. If you let these go and you only have, like, say, like here with Feast, I only have, 2 of them that aren't in there. It's gonna be lacking, and there's gonna be close battles of where you're gonna lose, and you want to try to get those as much as possible, because those diamonds are going to be very, very key in the training grounds. If you're in a larger alliance, what I had said before, then you get a decent amount of diamonds there as well in the daily. But also in here, you're in the training grounds, you're going to get a nice amount if you have these this equipment upgraded. Something I also recommend is the Hall of Faces. Make a Hall of Face account. Very simple to do. Does not take a whole lot of time. Just have one and you'll be fine. Like you can, your alliance will probably have some, and maybe they have 7 or enough for you to do it, to complete it in one time. But you definitely need these buffs if you want to compete, especially when you're fighting PvP, because every single one of those those mid spenders are going to have this as much as they are going to have all these bonuses as well. Also consider making a farm account, because it's going to be so much easier for you to be able to get your resources that you need. This account right here is my farm account. So the big thing that you'll be missing, or lacking, I should say, when it comes to a free-to-play account, in most accounts, is grain. As you can see here, I have 3.4 billion grain saved up in this account. So I'm never going to run out of grain from my main account. So if you have one of these and just let it, it's like you can just see right here, the hourly production is 5 million an hour. Like that's ridiculous, and the upkeep is only about just over 1 million. So it's 4 million an hour netting in grain, which is absolutely ridiculous when you get everything upgraded. So and check out my my other video about making a farm account. It'll show you how to do that, and it doesn't really take that as long as you think. And then make sure you're getting the gold is also very valuable as well. This one doesn't have a whole lot of gold in it because I keep dumping it into my main account when I need it, because obviously it's capped out at 14, almost 15 million. So once it gets up there, then I try to dump it into my main, because I can use it there and make sure this keeps running fully. And then I just try to gather for these 3 types of resources here, and to fill that up for kind of a bank, or as a reserve, so to speak. So I think that's a good option too, is to make a farming account. So with those diamonds, you're going to want to purchase a lot of things in the VIP shop. Motivation is one of the biggest ones, and the reason that is because you want to kill as many rebel leaders as you can to get those drops for your equipment and upgrade that equipment as fast as possible. You're going to be focusing on basically the Walmart Glorious set, so make sure that you work on that, because that'll be probably the best set for you. There will be some different pieces of equipment that will probably be better than what the Glorious that Walmart Glorious has, but however, at this point you're still going to want to be able to do that, because that'll help you out tremendously. I recommend the Spirit of the Weirwood tree, and you can get a lot of these in different places. I know in 1200, this is probably one of the last ones. If you can't afford it, don't get it. But the reason I would suggest this is because you're going to need those elite tokens, and to get those elite tokens, you can be able to blitz in the Weirwood and get using the Spirit of the Weirwood tree. So that'll help you get more of those as well. Precise transfers are very rare. I'll say very rare. They're relatively rare depending on where you're getting them, because they're only a few places where they actually do have them, and they can be kind of expensive. You can buy them with the Alliance coins that you may have saved up. And this account is, like I said, I don't need them. I'm not moving around and fighting as much, so I have, this account really hasn't used them that much, and I only have 58. So as you can see, like if I was moving around a lot, I would have almost nothing. So you have to be careful with that, and kind of pay attention when you want to go fight, to prepare in advance with the precise transfer. So something you want to look into. The training speed ups are nice as well. Again, they're probably not top priority because you can get those other places. The random books of wisdom, though, I definitely would want to get those. They're very, very cheap, and they're going to help you upgrade your awakening commanders. And if you do have any diamonds left over, then actually buy the elite tokens when you for your commanders. And they're expensive. They're 2,000 per per token, but they're a lot cheaper than the epic tokens, which are, you know, almost 3 times the cost of diamonds. Honor banners are probably one of the more higher priorities here, because you're going to need those to upgrade those glory buildings as well. So, and as you look down here, there's not much else. The warrior summons is a nice one too, especially if you're a bit, you know, a fighter. And you're gonna want those warrior summons for the 50%, so you can have a fight with a larger army size. So one of my recommendations here in this guide is to play as a 0 castle. Check out the video about how to create a 0 castle, how to become a 0 castle from pretty much any account that you have. The big thing is with playing it free to play is that you don't have to go crazy with making a ton of troops. So you're only going to have a certain amount of troops in your castle where you can zero it out. Most likely you'll just have a couple marches. So if that's the case, then you have to tailor your account to that. So don't worry about doing research to upgrade for more marches, because it's not going to help you as much. I guess if you want more troops and you want to zero out more, than those marches could help you, but you'd have to be super quick for that, and I wouldn't recommend playing that way unless you do have a fast system and you're very skilled, and that's the case. Then go ahead and do it. But I would say stick with just getting your troops up to a certain amount that you can, and then being a 0 castle. That way you can fight all the time. You can still be able to contribute into the marches or to the rallies as well, which is pretty important to your alliance. As for your dragon and your dragon skills that you want to put onto your dragon, you only have 6 spots on your dragon here. You have two different dragons, so upgrading the second dragon is pretty key as well, because it's a little bit stronger than the first dragon, but not significantly stronger. It has just a few different nuances, but you still get 6 slots here, and for those 6 slots you're going to want to do, again, we're going to go back to the infantry cav formation. You would want infantry attack, cav attack, gold. And then the third one you'd want to be your infantry health, gold, and then you want to have your infantry defense, gold, and then you have the 2 other slots here, which would probably be you're probably going to go with an epic one here, a purple one, for 2 attacks for infantry and spear. That would be about what you want. You don't have to go for the defense if you don't want to, but for that defense is actually not too bad. If there's infantry defense, you're maxing that out at 24%. So a 24% infantry defense is going to be pretty good for that front line. So that'll help you out quite a bit compared to some of those other maybe a smaller a blue attack badge or something like that. This 24 defense I think would be a pretty good to kind of help you in that front line. Something that you're going to want to always do is, and it's going to sound pretty obvious, but always complete the events. Whatever they give you in the events, you need to complete them. Like today we have the best effort. Complete these events. Do all of the resources you need to gather here. Use all the speed ups that you need to be able to get these chests and be able to get these colored diamond, the 7 colored diamonds. Be able to use them, because you're going to want this free stuff, and that's how you're going to be able to grow. And just get lucky on these wheels, and hopefully you pick up, maybe pick up some elite tokens or some of these books of wisdom as well, or even the friendship chests are actually really good too. So just make sure that you're focusing on these events, and make sure you're doing them every single time every day that they, or few days I should say, that they come out, because they're vitally important. The recruitment pass, make sure that you're doing that. You're only going to get this top line here, but you're going to get these Winton medals, and you're going to be able to upgrade him for free. So finish it out. Do everything you do. Look at the dailies, or not the dailies. Well, do the dailies, of course, but the challenges here, challenge quest. Finish all these challenge quests. There shouldn't be any of them that you can't do that are unlocked. So train those troops in the second stage of the Weirwood. Normal challenge. Make sure you do those as well. Gather those gold, all that. You want to make sure you get all of that completed. In the tavern, you're going to want to focus on the same thing you would be as pretty much any any PvP focused account, and that is going to be the combat rating, or in this case they call it the battle mastery, and also the leadership, which increases your army size. And the rally says you don't really care about, but those are the ones that you're really going to want to focus on. To upgrade those maxed out, to probably a level 50 first, and then if you want to go back and start working on maybe some of the just plain aptitude and finance, that can help you, or in command, that can kind of help you as well. But I would say focus on the CR and the leadership first. This this is my opinion, and I would believe that most people would say the same thing, is that in a free-to-play account, you have to focus on simply just two different troop types. You can't focus on three. You focus on one, you could be really powerful, but if you run into a counter, you're done. It's not, no matter how powerful you are, you're gonna. I mean, they're gonna do twice as much damage, and you are going to do half the damage to them. So it's not a good idea to go for just a single troop type buffing that. You want to go for two troop types. Or two troops. So pick one of these, whichever one you feel is best, and go for it. My recommendation is to kind of feed off of what the game gives you, and the game gives you your infantry front line is best because it has the highest base stats for defense and for health. So that would be my suggestion. And then for the second line, spear has the highest attack, base attack, but that doesn't mean you can't do infantry cav or even switch it up to something else, based upon how the game has evolved and what people a lot of people have that infantry front line. So maybe you want to go for a cav front line. Instead of trying to match their infantry, you want to go straight for the cav front line, and then maybe go for like since spear counters cav, maybe you want to go with an infantry behind that. So instead, you're going to go with this infantry cav. But that's what I would suggest. Since you're probably not going to be a very large account, or maybe you're a zero castle, there's a high likelihood that someone will attack you with pure calves, just thinking that they're fast and that they're powerful. Then a lot of people have calves, so maybe you want to change your wall to the with a spear front line, a spear infantry or a spear cavalry. That way, when those cavalry run into your spears, then it's going to be a bad day for that attacking person. Well, something that I would that you have to consider a priority are these events. So the Alliance Conquest, the Siege of Winterfell, the Army of the Dead, and not War of the Kingdoms, because that's all the time. But so basically just those three: the Army of the Dead, the Siege of Winterfell, and the Alliance Conquest. You have to participate in them all somehow. You got to find an alliance that is in same time zones, or where you're able to do it. On the weekends or at night after work or something like that, because you need to get the rewards that they offer in like the Valor Shop. You need to get these Simon medals. Definitely need to be getting those. You need to get those elite tokens. You don't have to worry about epic tokens because you don't have any paid commanders. You're not going to get these those chests, because those photo chests, because they're so expensive. But finish off the Mango. I have 109 for Mango in this account. Yeah, I'll grab some of those. I don't care. This is just a farm account anyway. I'm not worried about it too much. Then you have the S Universal Troop Medals. You're not going to get those unless we rarely have a chance to get those. So here's another place to try to get those as well. And the rest of this you're really not interested in. But do these events. Make sure you find an alliance where you're able to do pretty much them all all the time when they're around. I think it kind of goes without saying, but make sure you complete the Weirwood, all of the Weirwood. Get all the 3 stars that you can get. You get all these boxes down here. Make sure you do that in the Elite, and make sure every single one of these has been completed. And then the normal, they added this new one. Make sure you complete this as well. It's much more difficult to do it, but still it is attainable. They have go check on YouTube, check any of the other chroniclers. They've actually done videos to show you the formations and how to beat up to 918 and finish this off, and you'll get to beat this Death of the Night King, which is it's a really good board. I'm glad that they added on to this, but you should be able to finish this as well. And last but not least, don't let your motivation or your endurance max out. So like for instance, this account it's 9100 right now, 50 as a max, and it's at 5522. Never let this get full. Always you want to be able to go out there and kill those rebel leaders. This is absolutely vital. You can't waste time. You're gonna waste the motivation when it caps out. You can't do that. It's really gonna hurt you, because you want to be able to kill. I know sometimes you're not going to be able to log into the game. You'll be put a 3-day bubble on or whatever you're going to do, because you have life gets in the way. I completely understand that, but you want to try to make sure you don't let that cap out. And the same goes for the endurance as well. Don't let that cap out as well, because if it does cap out, then again you're missing out, and where you could be getting some more diamonds from the rebel groups, or other different drops as well. So I really hope this video helped you. If there are any other questions or comments, maybe I did miss something. There's a lot to go over when it comes to free to play as well. So, drop me a line and we can discuss it. I don't know everything and never claim to know everything, but I'm just trying to help out, different accounts in different ways, and hopefully this video did that. Until next time, Mac out.